So I was reading on what type of metal was it? Metal? Okay, so a CPU is built out of a silicone. I think metal. I'm not 100. This is here we go again. And it was speaking about the boiling point and the melting point of this metal. As I said, if it's not a metal, then I'm pretty just reading too quickly, or I need to go back. But I think it's a metal. It's silicone. As I said, when they're over here digesting these algorithms on the internet, they tend to leave out a lot of good stuff. Okay, so say the CPU you buy, and this is about computers again. Say the CPU you buy has. Okay, say you feel the computer, it's turned on, it has negativity, it feels good, right? And, if we think about it, okay, when temperatures turn into Celsius, right, it's measuring cold points, and Fahrenheit's measuring these hot points. And, they say, so, okay, anger does turn your face hot, right? So, say, for example, a CPU, okay, its melting point, it's made out of silicone. It's like at 20, is it 2700 or 2800 Fahrenheit? And that's the melting point, right? To melt a CPU made out of silicone. Okay. And say, you get angry and your face turns hot, and you're over here thinking, oh, anger is the cause of this problem, of my CPU. You go out there, you buy all this cheap shit, you buy all this expensive shit. What I mean, like when you build you build these computers, and I'm telling you, people, I've been on a computer since I was like 5 years old, 4 years old. I don't know, like 6, 7 years old, something in that 4-year range. But and you're wondering, okay, this CPU is making me feel negative. This CPU is making me feel quickly. Okay, you feel the theme, the hemisphere of the computer, right? You turn on your screen. Okay, you're hearing the fans of the computer, and you move the mouse, and it goes slowly or quickly. Like, to me, people, a 2.60 gigahertz CPU always worked fine for me in speed. And like, a CPU can only hold so much memory, right? It has like a little tiny 20 megabyte storage going on, right? Or, oh goodness, if I would have wrote this video, if I would have wrote what I was going to say down on this video, it would not be better than what I was trying to accomplish. But say, you do all your testing, right? You say you want to start something up. Say you might want to buy yourself a public server, so the public can access, instead of using like a hosting provider server, so you won't have to pay much on the long run. And what I mean, like, on the long run, people, I'm telling you, people, websites out there do not last more than 10 years, like, in general. Like, seriously, if you didn't grow up on these websites, they don't last. Like, say, for example, you somebody that was just born, say, let's say, 5 years ago on YouTube, compared to somebody like me that was born exactly when YouTube was starting up as a child, say that, I don't think they'll last. Like, people like that will last. Like compared to like websites that actually have the actual keyword, the actual keywords and the keyword phrases and the exact keywords, like video.com or etc., or like X videos, or those are porn. But like, you get what I'm saying. Like, these words that are more targeted on the internet, that target more of these words. So back to what I was saying. Say you do a startup, you build this computer from scratch, and you're doing like, because that's what it does. When you look up a CPU, when you want to buy a CPU, it's telling you the melting point, right? So the melting point, okay, versus the boiling point of a CPU metal. Okay, so it's built, the way it's built, okay? And the way it's built, and I mean, I'm talking about like the exact potion of, the exact like ingredient of what the CPU is built, because like, when you feel the mouse, right? Okay, the mouse feels too heavy. It's not cool enough. My hands not adjusted. So all my life I've been on the same cheap mouse. So because I worked backwards, I started off on the Windows 2000, and I went all the way forward to a brand new one. But I didn't install. I bought a future gaming computer. I didn't install the operating system. I threw the shit away, and oh yeah, I threw the shit away when I went broke and homeless. And it was a $2,000 gaming computer, which had an 8-quad CPU, and I mean like 2 terabytes, 250 megabyte memory, what is dual inline memory, dual inline module memory module. But the whole point is, say if you would do a split A/B testing from every part from scratch. Okay, and that's what I was saying. We're talking about the CPU here, because the CPU, when they built the CPU, had a boiling point and melting point, right? So you should look at the melting point as, okay, that's going to be YouTube's deleting comments, and the boiling point should be like, that's going to be YouTube's like starting conversations, like on temperatures when the world is back on these servers. You say you want to build a server, a public server. And and the server has, this installation built. Like, that's what you should measure from the start. Like, what I am not liking is that I'm getting older, and I wasn't taught this when I was in elementary school. This is what I was taught in elementary school. Here's 20 books, you got to read it in 8 hours. That's exactly what I'm talking about, like books that have 500 to 1,000 pages each, very hard. And that's what I said, like, now I'm stuck in these subjects, like nobody's, like, really into, like, the way I'm into it. Like, I feel like the way I'm into it. Yeah, so the CPU is the brain of the computer. It's called a control processing unit. Okay, it's what processes, it's what processes this information that runs to your memory. Because on your CPU you only have a small amount of memory, you add memory to the CPU. Okay, that's what you're always doing. You're always adding memory. The more you want to store. Okay, now that I got older and I went through like rough times and good times and bad times and yuppie times, I realized I deleted too much of my life away that I hold it. Okay, I don't want to make this video too long and start talking about off the CPU real quick. But yeah, when you buy a CPU, you should look at it as like, am I going to go to a boiling point? And remember, the boiling point referring to the melting point and the spread of this control processing unit. So you should ask yourself, am I going to go to a negative website or a positive website? Am I going to do this negative art or this bad art? Am I going to go to a smart website or a dumb website? That is exactly what I'm talking about, people. How supposedly the world is in turmoil all the time, because the world is always in turmoil according to this news called money. Okay, the news that's called money is what, like, the people that have a lot of money, people, they like to warmonger the world so they can make a profit. To me, I like to study the knowledge that is true. Okay. Oh yeah, one thing that I'll share about everybody about the dollar is I finally understood that the fact that a dollar is just an advertisement teaching me a little bit of knowledge. It wasn't about greed, and it was about exactly this. Greed was separate from the dollar. Yeah, people, they really don't update books like the way they should these days because they're too busy trying to kill smart people. Yeah, so a control processing unit, you should always measure if you're going to do negative comments or positive comments on it, and do it by measuring the boiling point of the metal that is built, that forms your CPU. Yeah, and then you get real numbers. Exactly. Just look it up, people.